So that was quite an interesting conversation, I would say.
It was.
Disturbed Paranormal, guys, is we've never done an intro before to a show. Usually, as you know, we just go straight in with our normal stuff, but we thought we'd just do a little bit beforehand because that was quite cool. That was an interesting one for sure.
Otherworldly, some might say.
Oh, a completely different dimension. Oh, yeah.
Dimensional beings.
Oh, stop it. Yeah, no, like we said, guys, it was a really good show, as you're about to hear. We had the guys and the guy, the single guy, and the girls on from Disturbed Paranormal. Really chilled out, really cool guests. You know, definitely want to keep in contact, and we'll catch up with them again, and just see how they're going.
Spooky.
It is spooky, and I think for one, we found out that, you know, Lee the guy seems to get a lot of the activity when he goes places. So my words of advice is, you know, if you're gonna go ghost hunting with a load of girls, make sure there's a couple of geezers with you. You know,
yeah,
even things out a little bit.
Them ghosts sound gay for Lee.
They certainly do. They certainly do. No, yeah. So well, hope you enjoyed the show, guys. I'm not going to lie to you, there was a little bit of a technical problem at the beginning with it not coming in where we wanted it to, but that's because we're just trying it for the first time. And as you know, and have come to love, that we just blag it as we are. So it basically will go straight into Lee talking about how ghost communities work with each other, and if there's any competition like that. That's why there's not going to be any fancy beginning to it. But yeah,
that was our question to him, was, is there a sense of community in the paranormal investigators world? And then what you hear obviously is after we've asked a question, and this is his answer.
Yeah, so that's all you're really missing, and except from a few pleasantries at the beginning where we kind of say, hello, this is my voice, this is Ad, and this is Aaron's voice, and it's Aaron, stuff that we probably would have clipped out anyway. But by all means,
radio friendly stuff.
Yeah, the really boring stuff that no one actually wants to listen to until we get into the nitty gritty of stuff. There were some cool things that I don't know if it was just us talking before the show or in the show. There's a particular episode for the guys called Ivy House that's very, very good. And there's U Tree House, and there's loads. But guys, give them a listen, give them a follow, and share the word, man, because these are good guys. They're not trying to fucking pull any wool over anyone's eyes by the sounds of it. I fell in for it, and I've learned a few bits today as well. That's going to open my eyes next time I watch it. So, yeah, off we go, guys. Have a good one.
Deuces.
There's always someone that I mean, there's other groups that turn around and say, unless we film it, it's not real. And you know, so you can't please that. All I ever say is, well, we can't explain it. It's up to you to decide what you want to believe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the best way to go about it, because you'll always get people there who want to just. Some people just like to shit on other people's work, don't they?
Yeah. You're going to get like you're going to get people. You're going to get trolls everywhere you go in life. It doesn't matter what you do. So if we've caught it and we've actually put it out there, and we say, what do you think, guys? You know, this is the evidence we've captured. You know, it's up to them what they want to believe.
It comes with the urbex as well. When we do urbex, we even get trolls that criticise on pictures. Like it happens on every time, on everything.
Well, we had one yesterday. We took Ruben out. He's only 3, and we were on a little picnic, and we went for a walk through the woods, and all we put on was Ruben's first adventure, and that was it. Then you just got loads of nasty comments, didn't you? Yeah. It's nuts.
You should be taking a child out on paranormal investigations, blah blah. But we're like, well, no, we took him out for a picnic, and then we walked through the woods in the Peak District.
Unless the dogs were demons, I suppose.
Well, that's what I was gonna wonder, like, if there's a sense of community amongst like ghost hunters and paranormal investigators, because with me and Aaron, we used to be in a band, and you know, as there was some sense of community amongst fellow band members, sometimes there wasn't. So
yeah, I find it can be a very bitchy world.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition.
Yeah, and I think people.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I always say para unity. you know, we should all come together. We're out there looking for the same evidence, gathering the same stuff, and then you've got others what just look down at you and think,
Yeah, they want it for their name attachment.
yeah, because you haven't got, you know, thousands and thousands of subscribers on YouTube, and we have, you're nothing. And you know, we do this because we love doing it.
Yeah.
It's not about going out and making the money, because we don't. And we put all our own money into the equipment, travel, everything. This is our hobby, and you know, it's something we believe in. It's not something that we go out to fake and entertain. Yeah, we want to entertain, and we hope we try and do that through our videos. I think we're getting there a little bit more now, you know, especially opening up and being on camera a lot more. But yeah, there's a lot of them out there that do diss us because we're a smaller group. But
I think smaller groups in general, though, like
yeah,
and it's a shame, really, like you say, that even happens. You know, because when I've watched you guys, the one thing that does shine through is how genuine you all are. You know, when you're doing the investigations and when you're doing things, like the reactions. Like when I think it was like when the car fell, I was like, "What the fuck?" And then one of the girls said it, and I was like, and I said to my brother, I went, "That's how you respond to stuff."
yeah. Well, we're stood in. Well, we'd gone.
it was a crammed little room, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we'd stood there, and we were just about to leave, to be honest, because the back door was there, and you know, we were like, you know what, that was a great night. You know, we'll show Lee, us girls can do it. We were having a laugh about it, and then that happened, and we were away from the stairs, so it wasn't even like we were near the stairs, and we were just like.
I was just wondering, what the heck is that coming down the stairs?
When I reviewed the footage, because obviously I wasn't there, so I didn't know, and these didn't tell me. They just said something happens, but you'll have to wait and watch it. So I was like, it's okay. So I just went through the video from start to finish, editing and taking. You know, I do take a couple of the boring bits out, because obviously don't leave everything, otherwise it'd be like 6 hours long.
Yeah, sure.
But it wasn't even thrown; it was rolled down the stairs. Because you can literally hear it. You can hear it. Boom, 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 boom. And it made my hair stand up a little bit, to be honest, because I was like, oh, I should have been there. But
didn't we have equipment in that car when we was in that bedroom? We had equipment in the car, didn't we?
Yeah, upstairs. And yet the K2 was going off with the car.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the lights. Was it the light? What, it was the lights flashing on it
balls,
or something?
Yeah. Oh, that would be a good question for an answer for the starting off. But yeah, definitely cat balls. They're like £2.50 on Amazon for anyone who wants to start off.
Those are the ones that when you touch them and they start rolling, they start flashing, don't they?
Yeah. So you do have to give them a good tap. You know, they're quite hardy, them cat balls, aren't they? But they're absolutely brilliant. I love them.
Have you caught them being triggered on film?
Yeah, lots of times, yeah.
Oh, nice.
We've actually had them. If you look at one of our videos, Beast and Tower, they actually roll across the dance floor, and
nice.
And they actually roll towards me, and I crap myself, to be honest with you, because I heard this noise, and I was like, "What the fuck's that?" And then I seen this ball coming at me, and I was like, "What's that?" I actually back away. You see me back away on camera.
Scared of a ball.
Yeah, I would be enough.
Yeah, but there was no breeze, there was no wind, so it was like, why are they rolling towards me?
The floor was level as well.
And it was level floor, yeah, because it was a dance floor. So I was like, well, what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
But those
couples, I saw one of the videos the other day, and like they seemed to like you, didn't they? Because one of them you were filming, and suddenly your legs start going wobbly. Started swaying there.
I mean, I've come home before now, and my back looks like I've been attacked by Freddy Krueger.
You've had scratches on your neck, your back, your arm.
Yeah, I've had all sorts. It's terrible. I seem to be the only one that. I mean, the first time these took me to Denby, for instance, I was a complete skeptic. I'd had a few I'd had one or two instances in my childhood, but I was a complete skeptic. I didn't believe in any of it. I was quite open to it, but I wasn't. And especially when Hayley was telling me about the Wiccan stuff and the witchy stuff, and I was like, okay, fair enough. That's you know, it's a good thing to listen to. Then they took me to Denby, and while I was there, I just remember I was feeling a little bit agitated. So I started feeling a bit agitated, and then I was getting angry, and then my anger was directed towards the girls. And I'm dead mellow person. I don't lose my temper. I don't shout. I don't, do I?
I've never heard you shout, to be fair. Ever.
And I don't actually remember driving home.
No, you don't. Nice. You said you were in a tunnel vision the whole entire
Yeah.
time, didn't you?
I don't remember. I've got no memory of driving home, but all I can remember is the anger, and that's happened to me a few times. So
what is it that brings that on then? Do you think?
I think just being affected by the energies, and if there is any spirits or entities around that you can pick up.
Especially if you're a bit more of an open, sensitive person.
Yeah,
I think you can feed off
yeah.
you a bit, use your energy a bit more.
Yeah, they go for the most sensitive one. That's what they say.
Yeah.
I'm not sensitive.
Yeah.
The only male in the group, yes, you are.
That's probably what it is, because I'm the only male. I think that's why I tend to get targeted, maybe, or maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm not at all sensitive. I'm not saying I'm psychic. I'm more ignorant than anything, because I switch off, because I've got 5 daughters and I live in a house full of women. So, I don't know what it is. I do tend to get.
We have gone into a few places, and you've said, I don't like it in here, I can't stay in here. And we all just go, don't we? There is a few places that we go to and think, we don't want to stay in here. We just don't feel right.
But,
just leave.
What was that one, that little cottage we went to? What was it called? In the middle of nowhere, with all the gardening tools that I wanted to pick up.
God, that was
Oh yeah, the Nova House.
The Nova House, yeah.
As it's nicknamed.
That was the only other occasion I can think of, wasn't it? Because I wanted to. I can't. Apparently, I was walking around in circles in the dining room in the dark. Whoa. And then when Hayley came over to talk to me, I wanted to get the garden tools and hit them with it.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
but I can't. I genuinely can't remember that. I just. So, but the house has got a lot of history. Maybe I was being affected by what the person that committed the crime was feeling at the time. I don't know. I'm
These
still.
are the answers I want to find out, and this is why I went into it.
Well, that's it. Sometimes you want the answers, you've got to ask the questions yourself, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of lad ghosts who would just see Lee turn up and they're like, "Oh, come on, boys, fresh meat, let's pick on him."
Fresh meat here, let's get him.
That's it. It's boys' locker room rules now, lads. Chasing after him with the tail, whipping him on the arse. Go on, little boy.
I've got a counter argument to that though. When we went to Shrewsbury Prison, I didn't feel a single thing.
And it was me, wasn't it?
It was you.
But it was a male prison.
But then,
and I was sitting on his bed.
We even had voices coming through the SB7 saying there were sexual references towards Hayley.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel a single thing. So there's my counter argument to that. All male prison,
Well, not bad. Good job you didn't sit on the bed first, mate. Well, pretty cool. So, going back to one of the things you said earlier, like the 3 girls like to do quite a bit of research. Like when you do this sort of stuff, what would you say was probably like the most like historically interesting building that you've been to, whether it's the paranormal stuff, the urban exploring?
It's got to be the ramen.
It's got to be the ramen. The ancient ramen, definitely.
Can you give us a little bit on that?
Oh God, there's loads on the ancient ram. But basically, the person who last owned the ancient ramen was John. He lived there. He could never sleep in his room upstairs, so he always slept on the couch. But John basically said there was an incubus in the ancient ramen, and an incubus is a sex demon.
What?
Yeah, that's the one that
used to
sits on
be-
your chest, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you're sleeping, so it can like bring you from your sleep to have a quick game of How's Your Father?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, poor John. Apparently, he said he's been raped by this incubus, basically.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Ramen is meant to be the most haunted place in Europe.
Yeah, most haunted place in Europe. It is the ancient ramen.
Supposed to.
But it goes back. Basically, it's built on
Pagan sites.
a pagan site on, like, I want to say ley lines. Basically, what are meant to hold a load of energy underneath them.
Oh yeah.
But I think when I was researching the history, all of this, like the area it in, is basically dates back to the pagans and the church there as well.
Because when he was doing renovation, John, on the place, he dug up a burial ground in the living room, and it had 2 children's skeletons in with daggers. What is to believed is that the pagans, they were sacrificed the children and were buried on the site. There's been a lot of archaeologists that have been in there. It's got a lot of history, and I think it's made out of wood, and I think wood holds all that energy, and it's just a big buzz of the whole place is just full of energy. Yeah.
You can feel it when you're walking.
Yeah.
So this energy stuff, does that come from like emotions that maybe people were feeling at the time of passing, or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with the whole thing with the 2 kids, because I'm into my paganism stuff and my history as well.
Yeah.
And looking back, there could be a lot of feelings of anger around that, so to speak. I mean, I don't know. I'm not but because with a lot of the old child sacrifices, particularly in pagan times, were actually committed by Christians trying to make pagans look bad. Like, oh, this is what a pagan ritual looks like. They just killed 2 random kids.
Yeah.
So there could be a lot of treachery around it as well, building out this negative energy because these 2 kids were killed to serve an agenda rather than an actual ritual or something.
Yeah. I think definitely, probably you're right saying that, because it was the home of the priest, what was from the church across the road. And used to be a funnel as well from the church to the ancient ramen. So there's a lot of, I don't know, Christian history as well there, isn't there?
There's been witches hung on site as well. So I think that holds a lot.
But vicars don't hurt kids, do they?
No. Well, I've got I set up a camera just over the kids' graves, didn't I?
Yeah.
And the whole night, I must have happened about 8 or 9 times. One of the light switches kept getting turned on and off, and you could see the light. If you watch the video, you can actually see the light switch on and off and hear the click. But then I also captured the voice of a little boy having a conversation with someone directly on the camera. So he must have been stood near the camera. From my camera, and it's making my hair stand up because it's a little boy talking about being in hell.
What was and what episode is this?
This was Ram's Head, did you say?
Ram in.
The ancient ramen.
Yeah.
Ram in.
So,
guys, get on that. If anyone's listening, get onto that.
Mate.
Fucking hell.
Have you guys ever come to Pluckley in Kent?
No.
not yet, no.
Oh, you've got to come down to Pluckley.
Yeah.
Or maybe when all this madness outside is over, when you guys want to come down to Kent to Pluckley, we'll double team it.
Yeah.
We'll come out with you. We'll take you to the Screaming Woods.
Oh, yeah.
No, we won't, guys. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. No. You know, that sounds lovely. Just FaceTime me or something.
No, we're getting you out.
Oh, it freaks me out, man. Then go back to the sorry. Yeah, I am. I nearly had a panic attack on the show last week because Aaron was trying to explain how a blind person sees, and it was driving me mad. I scare really easily. So going to the ancient Ram Inn, I've just Googleized, had a quick Google on it. Is it open? Like, can people go in there, or is it you have to book? Or...
You book it.
Right.
So, God rest his soul, John has passed away now.
Yeah.
So his daughter has it.
Okay.
So she hires it out basically. So yeah, you can hire it out for the evening.
Oh.
It's brilliant. It's a must go. I think you can hire it out in the day if you want to just go in to take photographs and stuff like that as well. But the history in there and everything's documented down, so you can sit and read it all as well. Hopefully the next time we go, Caroline says she'll come and meet us now. She's had a jab for COVID and she can get out and about again.
There's little bits when you go in there. There's little bits written down about what happened on John's first night there as well. Isn't there?
Yeah.
And apparently the first night he slept there, he got pulled out of bed by his leg.
Oh God. I'll have to give that.
Rooms are really creepy.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, there's a
Mate, your other half's going to hear this, and she's going to be like, right, pack the car. Hands in.
She loves it all of the investigation and paranormal stuff, and she's just getting into like just to go on a tangent because that's what we do. But she's like getting into meditating and spirituality and stuff like that, and it's cool, man. I'm like, yeah, Kushni, go for it. But like last night she was saying that she was meditating and she could see colours and come into her and trying to talk to a spirit guide, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck, man? And it's just, I don't know, it's like, I don't think everyone's gone crazy but it's just like, wow, it almost like blows my mind.
It is mind blowing.
It is.
Yeah, my brother's really into it. He says the same sort of thing, like sometimes he'll get colours, or if he's having a particular problem with whatever he's working on, he'll meditate and then suddenly his spirit guide will come and give him the answer, or give him little clues as to get to the answer himself and stuff like that.
Yeah, it
is mad.
So in regards to the protection, what we touched upon earlier, like with the crystals and what you guys do, how about someone for like me, because I'm not religious at all. I don't believe in God. So I mean, am I going to be as susceptible to bad entities as well, or am I like, don't go out because ain't got no protection and I'm going to be fucked anyway?
No.
We don't necessarily believe in God anyway.
No, we don't see that.
Right.
I believe in a lot of, I'd say, with practicing, I'd say, Wicca, paganism, witchcraft. A lot of the stuff comes from the earth, and I always think the elements of the earth, and I think that protects you more than any god would ever. But that's my belief.
For the people at home listening in, could you give a little bit of like perhaps an introduction on what Wiccanism, like Wicca, is?
Oh God. There's a lot of elements to it. Wicca. I always say that I grow my herbs. I'm probably more of a person who will sit and meditate, and I do my spells. And oh God, it's hard to put. I know I have gone blank. I'm really sorry.
But it's very nature orientated, isn't it? Like the natural forces of the world.
Natural forces.
Yeah, all about that sort of counterbalance of good energy versus bad energy.
Bad energy, yeah. You've got your fire, your water, your earth. It's
using all them elements for a lifestyle, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sort of like some people do feng shui, other people do meditation, other people, like you said, do spells as well. It's like I've touched on like spells a lot in the past as well, because what a lot of people don't seem to sort of grasp is that they sit there and go, oh, it's ridiculous, they think they can make a magic potion and it does this, and it's like, no, the point of doing the spell and the magic potion and all this stuff is to give yourself an extremely intricate task, which might even sit there and say, like, so let's say you wanted to like do a love spell or something, it would be very, very intricate ingredients from certain places. You'd have to hand pick them.
Yeah.
And it's almost in a way like, if you're willing to go out and find these ingredients with your own energy and put this much effort into what you're doing, then this is your taking off point to get what you want from this spell.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what magic is. But people obviously television and literature tend to embellish and romanticize it a bit more, which is fine. Everyone loves a bit of telly, you know. I love Lord of the Rings, you know what I mean? But it does sort of get lost in the ether, and people get confused, thinking, oh, they won't pray, but they'll do a silly magic spell. And it's like, yeah, but when you do a silly magic spell, that's a personal thing for you, not for other people. Whereas praying, you know, if you talk to God, you're a Christian. If he talks back, you're a schizophrenic. So, there is a big difference.
Yeah. No, definitely. It is about just incorporating all that stuff out in nature. It's about what we've got around us and the beauty of life, and not just, as you say, sat on your phone or, you know, watching a movie or, you know, thinking that everything's got to be bought from a shop. You can actually go out and actually do that yourself.
Yeah, well, people did for thousands of years before we had electricity, and they got on just fine, you know. They're doing stuff and whatnot, and at the same time as well, it's like, who's it hurting?
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, it's all good. I mean, when you live in a world where there's things like Scientology and flat Earth and God particles, it's like, you know what? Some of these beliefs aren't too far fetched.
Well, I think we tend to find that people
believe in the flat Earth.
I believe we're a curve.
Question mark shaped Earth.
Well, we tend to get most animosity because people's fear. They fear. People tend to fear what they don't understand, don't they?
Yes.
So that's where we tend to get most of our comments and nasty things. But
yeah,
I mean,
unfortunately, a lot of people just want to have their voice there, don't they? And they just do it sometimes. They think, oh, what will get me the most attention? Oh, I know, I'll just insult somebody.
It's all been good reviews, especially. I think we've hardly had anything negative to us.
Apart from getting called a dog.
Oh, apart from getting called names and stuff like that in arguments, but
senseless, isn't it? It's just, what's wrong with people?
Like,
people just don't, you know, they're too quick to judge because they see paranormal in the title, and they, you know, will turn around and say, you know, you're doing this to, you know, make money, or it's not real. We've had some horrible comments like that, haven't we?
The thing is, though, even if that was the case, what business is it of theirs?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always say to people, well, you're always welcome to come with us and see what you do. You know, you're always welcome to meet us at a location, and, you know, that's absolutely fine. And then you can judge us. Then you can
say if we're real or fake.
Yeah.
We even said to one guy, come down, test all our equipment. It's just standard equipment.
And I take it he didn't.
No, he didn't turn up.
Surprise. Everyone's a big man behind a keyboard, don't they? Everyone gets
keyboard warriors.
So we've got other guys that want to come with us. They're dying to come with us. They won't because we do everything in the dark.
Right, yeah.
We work in pitch black, and they're too scared to come with us. I mean,
does the dark help?
Well, I don't know where the stigma comes from that ghosts only come out in the night, but
I remember you mentioning earlier, sorry, that you were saying, like, when you do your spells, you make sure you're under white light.
Yeah.
So is that something to do with it as well? Because obviously, like, white light comes from the sun and whatnot, and
white light, or, you know, it's that vision, isn't it, of that white light is, you know, healing and it's going to protect you.
So is that why ghosts don't come out during the day, because there's like too much white light about? Something like that?
I think ghosts are around at all times.
Yeah. I don't know where the stigma comes from, do you?
But we like night vision.
Yeah.
I think it enhances
your senses.
Your senses. Take away the light.
It gives it a creep factor then.
Yeah.
So
you can't see what's around you and where the noises are coming from.
Yeah, so there's a bit of added drama to it, but then it is an internet show. There's got to be, otherwise, like you say, it would be boring, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So you guys actually in the actual pitch black then? Because I've seen the night vision and that, but I'm not sort of clever enough to, you know, ever use night vision. And so you actually in pitch blackness?
Yeah. Apart from if we have our torches on.
Now and again,
pitch black.
obviously we'll have a torch and we'll obviously guide, say where we need to go or something when we're walking. Because that would be dangerous, some of the places we go to.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, imagine like when you're just going through the just that house of the Scoutmaster and just seeing like Lee walking through the house, it's like, bloody hell, watch your footing, mate, because there's stuff everywhere. One of them creepy dolls jumps out at you.
We love a creepy doll.
Oh no, I don't.
I'm totally with Lee on this one. They are way too creepy. They shouldn't be around.
I have a doll in my bedroom that sits on the dressing table. Wendy, and she's my haunted doll. You might have seen her on a few of our investigations or photographs. And she sits there watching us sleep, doesn't she, Lee?
It just winks at you every now and then.
Yeah. Oh no. This is a wave.
I'm waiting for the day that I'll find her sitting somewhere else, like Chucky or something.
Oh, no.
I have to say, when I was watching one point, I think you had one of your little gadgets out, and in the background you could see the door was open, and you could just see a little doll in the corner, and I kept looking at it thinking, if that thing turns its fucking head, I'm going to die.
So was I.
Same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, the dolls are creepy. But as with the Scout house, as you've seen on the video, that I do say that is it haunted? We don't know because we picked up on a couple of voices, but see the thing I want to point out with the SB7 spirit boxes, when it scans through the radio waves, we do it in reverse. So it scans through the radio waves in reverse. So any voices that comes through from a radio station will be in reverse. So anything that comes through that you can understand, we can't explain.
That was actually what I was going to ask, because I know is that the one that goes like and because Nick, my other half, puts it on TV and I hear it and I'm like, can you turn the TV down? That's doing my head in. And then I never understood what it was, and she's obviously told me, oh yeah, it scans through the radio waves or something. And I was like, what do you mean radio waves? Like actual channels or stations or what? I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know how it works.
That's exactly how it works.
We use FM. I prefer FM than AM.
Don't we all?
Well, there's more channels on FM for it to scan through.
Yeah.
But say, for instance, if we actually pick up on a full sentence, then that means the SB7 spirit box is scanned through about 30 radio stations.
Right.
So if it's in the same voice and it's going through 30 radio stations in reverse, then you tell me how it works.
No, that's cool. That's actually cool, man, because I thought, like, obviously, like, probably lots of people, when you're scanning through stuff, if there's a radio near or a car or any kind of interference, of course you're going to get a word, or of course you're going to get a bit of a sentence. But if you scan it, like you'd say, in reverse, and it gets words, that's
it's unexplainable.
Yes, it's a kind of mind blowing actually, because I've never.
But that's also something people at home who are trying to start up this sort of thing, that's a bit of advice they can take with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because if they're just sitting there listening to it all come back and they sit there saying, I'm pretty sure I've got Terry Wogan's ghost outside with Helen Mirren, they're going to feel a bit disheartened later on, aren't they? So knowing to have it scanned through that, that's quite cool. So when you do it in reverse, is that because when ghosts are doing it in reverse, so by you playing it in reverse again, it makes it sound like what they're saying is normal because it's coming out differently or something?
No, it just means that we can validate anything that's said, because they use the energy and well, it's said that they pick up on the radio waves and use the energy to be able to speak through it. But we just do it in reverse.
They talk it. Well, supposedly spirits talk in a higher frequency to us. So if you ever hear that really high static noise in your ears, supposedly say there's someone trying to speak to you. So I think that's with the radio waves, it counteracts to each other for them to speak through.
I thought it was just
you've done it now. You've done it now, because as soon as Ad starts, he's going to hear the slightest thing now, and it's going to be a shit ghost.
I just thought it was my tinnitus playing up. I didn't realise I'm fucking probably talking to ghosts all the time. What you done to me, girls?
All along.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's like every time you're in the supermarket and you're standing in the whiskey aisle and it's that voice in your head going, yeah, go and buy it, go on.
Well, that's my excuse now. Like, that's it. It sorted me
I
out.
was possessed. They made me.
No, that's it. We got a question from Rob, one of our fans, Rob. Is in regards to, he asked, what is a light anomaly or orb, and how do you differentiate it from, say, a speck of dust or an insect? Which I thought was quite a good one as well.
To be honest, I'm still on the shelf about orbs myself.
Okay.
The light anomalies I've picked up, they tend to generate their own light source when you see them on camera, because you can differentiate between dust and a light orb, because dust looks like a snow flurry and there's lots of it and it's moving quickly. A light anomaly that I've picked up tend to change direction, change speed, flash, change shape. I mean, I captured a good one in Walton Hall. It literally looked like two feathers dancing around the room and then disappears into the floor. So I mean, some of them can be really obvious, some of them can be really fast. They do say that it's a spirit trying to manifest, but hasn't got enough energy to manifest fully. So it could be something as simple as someone's trying to, I don't know, slap you in the face for being in their house. You could just see a white light. Just, I mean, well, we've picked up on loads of stuff that I've identified and thought, you know, that I can't explain that. I mean, the ones in I captured a couple in the Ram Inn, which were really good, really big and full. And as I said, it's pitch black. So you know, if you can pick it up on an IR light, it's got to have pretty much its own.
Yeah, his own light source as such.
Its own light source as such.
Yeah.
Even with your own eyes sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's weird. Because I remember I used to watch, like, when I was younger, I used to watch that Most Haunted.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, look, it's an orb," and then like sometimes because you'd see like a little like round light go past, like you're saying, it's like it could be anything, but I've got just as much evidence of it being anything else as he has of it being an orb. So let's say it's an orb, but then another one will come past, and he'll be like, "Look, there's another one," and you're like, "No, that's a moth."
You can tell.
Yeah, it's like I know a moth when I see one, mate.
We've
It's
done
flapping
that
wings, it's got 6 legs.
And it's not been an orb, it was a moth.
That was in the house, wasn't it? Coming down the stairs.
We sat there for ages watching the camera, didn't we?
And we were like, wow, did you see that big orb? And then you get home, put it on your laptop and go, no.
It was a moth.
These were arguing with me. We were like, it wasn't a moth, and I was like, it is. Look, you can see the wings. Oh, right.
Yeah, you couldn't.
So I put everything to dust. And we go with dust.
Going back to like Most Haunted and stuff, do like, because obviously you say you do like sort of like you've done like seances in the past and whatnot. Do any of you people have something like what Derek Acora had? Like he had that Sam bloke he would talk to in his head, wouldn't he? None of you have got a Sam hanging around whispering in your ear.
No.
Thank fuck.
It'd be easier if I did.
Not one of us.
No, so I always used to remember shows like that. Whenever something happened, it was always very well timed, and the camera would just happen to be looking at it, and they'd all flee from the building. It was like, oh fuck me, Dad, what is this?
What was his name? What you used to talk to? Was it Simon?
Sam.
It was Sam, that's why, yeah. No,
oh, God rest his soul.
Oh, I know, yeah, God bless his soul.
But no, none of us have got that ability. Yeah, we can go, well, doesn't feel right in here, or I don't find that
people can just get that, can't they, from anything?
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be paranormal. Like sometimes if you're walking in a sketchy looking neighbourhood, you can feel bad.
Yeah.
So we use the same thing, isn't it?
And our own senses, really. What we try and pick up, but no, none of us are.
That's up, I'm just ignorant.
It's always been one of those arguments that sort of annoyed me with sometimes, because like I'm like Ad, I'm not a firm believer, but I'm not going to poo-poo anything either, because like we've said on the show loads of times before, the leading scientists in the world say the universe is filled with infinite possibilities, so how can you rule anything out?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you sort of get some of these things like that, and I've completely forgot what I was going to fucking say.
Nice one, balls that up.
Yeah, that's it. I'm done for. But
The universe has got infinite possibilities.
it has indeed. But yeah, I've completely lost my train of thought.
I'll go.
Go for it, mate.
This is one of my personal ones. I've seen like obviously lots of things in regards to poltergeist activity and stuff like that. Now, you guys might know, you guys might not know, but why do they only ever seem to do things one way? Like, why do they only ever open a door or close a door or open a drawer or close a drawer? It's like, are you fucking lazy or what? Or is it? Do you know what I mean? That's where my skepticism comes out. Because I'm like, oh, so you can open a cupboard, but you won't close it. It's like, well, why? Why can't you? It's, I don't know. I thought, well, you're the guys who might have seen it both ways. So, yeah, I'll put it to you guys.
I've got this one.
I've got this one.
She's rolling up the sleeves.
I think it was quite in the early days of starting off on YouTube. And it's probably the first video. It's absolutely awful.
Yeah.
It's done on our phones. It's absolutely horrendous. But we were in this care home, and me and another girl we used to go with were standing there and asking, calling out. We've got our phones and a torch, not in there for night vision, nothing. And we asked the door to open, was it? No, closed. And down the corridor, it closed. Yeah. As we were walking, so we were like, whoa, walking towards it. And the other girl went, can you open the door for me, please? And it literally opened. And she went, I can't get through that. I'm too fat. So it opened a little bit more. So a little bit after that, we were standing, calling out again in, I think it was the front room of like this nursing home. And next minute, we were calling out. I went, can you copy me? And there was a door on the floor. So I stamped on the door like bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Next minute, the door what had opened previous just went boom and closed. Well, the walls shook.
Yeah.
And then you can see me jump back and run towards Lee. The other girl to the corner of the room because I was like, oh my God, but I was still filming. And then the other door in front of me just slowly started closing.
Oh. Yeah, it was mad.
It did all go off that night.
Yeah. So. It was.
And you can actually see it on the phone. You could actually see, and we were the only ones in the room. There was only what was the three of us?
Yeah, just the three of us, wasn't
it? To make sure things are safe for the girls, one thing I normally do is I'll go in for ahead of them, and just have a quick walk around, make sure there's no homeless or somebody hanging around, and then we do try and secure our entry so nobody else can come in after us. So we do know there was
only a little bungalow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So there was no upstairs. It was just one straight like corridor with rooms going off. So and there was no broken windows, nothing. So it couldn't have been wind because we were looking around. Could it have been the wind? You know, we do look at all this, but I think that one when, you know, obviously hopefully that thing is your question that, you know, on command we've asked it to do these things and it was doing it, wasn't it? It's
probably one of the only times we've actually ever captured something. Well, obviously other things have moved and stuff, haven't they? But it's probably. Can you think of anything else that?
A lot of time we ask them to do stuff, and through the spirit box they will say no.
Yeah.
Oh right. Is that you think because they don't want to do it, or is it that they can't do it? Because I don't, you know, I know how much energy it takes me to pick up things. So is it that they can't do it? I don't know, you know.
Possibly.
I think it is a can't.
Yeah, they can't do it, or they're like, who do you think I am? No, you do it.
That's a good point. If I was a ghost and people were coming in my house and they was like, oh, open the door, I'm like, open your fucking self, you know.
You invite yourselves in here. Then you do things.
At the end of the day, you might be ghosts, but they were still human. They still had a sense of humour. They still had felt emotions. And they probably, you know, I believe that, you know, when you die, you've got to go somewhere. And you're going to take those emotions and beliefs and you're gonna take them with you, aren't you? So if someone's coming to my house, I'm like, what are you doing here?
I think when we do have an eventful night though, like we always say, like you gather our energy, don't we?
Yeah.
So I think the next day we always feel quite drained as well because
paranormal hangover.
Yeah, because we let them like gather all our energy to do stuff like that.
Only to a certain degree, though. We don't let them. You can't. It's mad though, isn't it? Because whenever you say it's like you have to have your permission. Because if we went to turn around and say, right, use my energy, then we'd be fine the next day. But if we all say you can use our energy, it's like being hit. You wake up like you've been hit by a bus. It's
what? All of you feel like that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We all message up in the group chat, how are you feeling today? And
everyone's
like shit.
It's crazy. I can't. I've got no answer for that. I just don't know.
Yeah.
If it is.
I feel like I've drank like 3 bottles of wine.
Yeah. Or we can wake up feeling quite anxious, or we just don't feel right the next day.
Come on, are you just not getting on a booze up afterwards, guys? Come on. Come on. Because I do after the podcast with Aaron every week. I'm like, oh, thank fuck for that. A couple of beers, that'll numb that for a while. But no,
let's replace these spirits with some more spirits.
Yeah. Yes. What spirits were we talking about again?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like going back to what I was saying before, I remember now was we were saying about people were saying like, oh, what you're doing may not be true because of this, that, and the other. But a lot of it comes down to, like you were saying, does come to personal experience. And a lot of these people are saying, well, I've never seen it, so it can't be real, or I've never experienced something like this. And it's like, yeah, well, I've never ran a mile in 2 minutes either, but I'm not going to deny Usain Bolt can do it. You know, because I can't do something. And with you guys, you can pick up on these things, and people are like, oh, well, there's no evidence or whatever. And it's like, but people are capable of doing pretty amazing things.
Well, I
they don't always apply to everyone, do they?
No. Well, I think you should just. I always used to say we need to listen to our inner feelings more because they always tend to be right. You know, if your gut is telling you there's something not right in this house, then none of us are psychic. None of us are. You know, we're just going off our experience and the amount of places we've been to. But I mean, if we go into somewhere and my gut or Hayley's gut, I mean, Hayley's been to a few places where she's refused to go into, just by looking at the door, and you're thinking you've got to listen to that, because if you don't listen to that,
yellow house last
you could get yourself into, because you can't. I mean, there's loads of opinions about whether there is or there isn't. Demons exist, demons don't exist. I mean, there's still it's all energy at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you don't listen to that, then you could get yourself into a bit of bother, because taking things lightly that you don't understand, it's the same with anything. If you go to, if you start smoking and you've never smoked in your life, it's gonna really affect your body, isn't it?
It's gonna go wrong, isn't it?
The same thing. If you go into a place which you suspect, I mean, you could go, to be honest, you could go into a supermarket and get an attachment. You could go to a hospital and get an attachment. There's I mean, I used to work in a hospital. I did security in a hospital for 10 years, and I've seen a few things there, and you can imagine how many people have died in hospitals.
Yeah, sure.
So
I've seen a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Sue works for the NHS as well. In theatre. So it's crazy.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that is I can imagine there's lots of activity and things like that. Yeah.
It was like with what you were saying earlier, though. Like you said, you mentioned about how sometimes you had scratches appear on you and stuff. Did you feel being scratched at the time, or did you wake up the next day with these marks? Or
no, it was Esme's. It's a video called Esme's Poltergeist. We were in and it was an old farmhouse, and I had 4 layers on. I had an Under Armour sort of like protection sort of jumper, and then I had a t-shirt on over that, and then I had a zip-up jumper over that, and then I had a hoodie on over the top of that, and then obviously it's been scratched, but I've not felt it. And until as soon as I come home, I took all those layers off, and Haley's gone, "What's that on your shoulder?" And it was literally 3 scratches that looked like a three-handed, like a garden, the garden thing with the three prongs on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It looked like that. But then there was a strange one. There was another scratch literally going through the middle of them, wasn't there? So that was probably the most interesting, because I'd never felt it at the time. Normally you feel burning, or
there's a few times you've gone check this out, you know, like
there has been something,
and there's been there you've gone I feel burning, you know, like on the neck or something, and you've always gone like straight away check it out. There might have been like a red mark or a scratch.
There's a few places that we've been as well that you've actually felt like you've been kicked or like slapped, or especially whispers in your ear and stuff.
And if it's Tiffany's bum that normally gets...
It's usually my bum that gets pinched.
Yeah, 'cause I saw one yesterday, I think, where one of the young ladies could feel like a tickling thing on their legs.
Yeah,
that happens quite a lot.
Yeah.
Sort of going on. Do you reckon that's like kids or something being silly or something?
Yeah. Well, I hope it is, and it's not some
I think
like old man.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking. That's what my mind went.
I think it can be animals as well, because we went to one place that had a cat flap, and then through on the spirit box they were saying cat, weren't they?
Yeah.
And then our legs were going all tickly and stuff. So it can be animals.
So animals as well can be like ghosties.
Yeah,
The ancient Ramin's got a mummified cat in there, what they found within the walls, because years ago they used to put live cats in the walls for good luck.
Actually,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And we were sitting behind the fireplace it was, but me and Jodie were sitting in a room, and I swear I'd seen cat fights, a small black cat going underneath the bed.
And they do say there's a black cat.
They do say there's a black cat that walks around the ancient Ramin.
But other people have seen it as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
So have there ever been reports of like people seeing like a dinosaur ghost or something?
That would be well cool if you could.
Because they've all like died in that, and it's like no one ever seems to come out saying like the house of the haunted T-Rex or something.
We'll keep an eye out.
Hello,
Keep an eye out for that one.
That'd be cool, getting the first Triceratops on camera. It'd be a laugh, wouldn't it?
Big T-Rex walking past.
Playing the old Jurassic Park theme tune into your spirit box.
That'd be hilarious. I want to do that now just for a skit.
It's a valid point, that though. I mean, you can't say there's cats and dogs ghosts, but then not say why isn't the dinosaurs? I don't know.
Well, it's if you believe dinosaurs did really roam the earth.
Well, I suppose, yeah. Let's not go down that road.
Tempting my theories.
We love a dinosaur over here, don't we, mate?
I love anything as long as it ain't scary, mate. And I don't know, you know, I've started to question my life choices at the minute. You know, some of these videos, I mean, like, well, I'm just trying to get some like links and stuff to put in places just to save my, you know, doing it later. And I think the episode you guys talked about a minute ago is it called "We Were Scared for Our Souls, Care Home Not for the Faint Heart"?
Is that
the one with the poltergeist with the doors?
Oh,
yeah, it's that very
first one.
It's the very first video.
Yeah, that's the very bottom of YouTube.
Yeah.
That's that come up.
Absolutely horrendous. But I had to put it up because it's
that's
captions.
Oh, like, well,
Don't touch on the editing.
Before we knew how to edit.
that sounds like a good one. I you know, because that's something that always played on my mind, and like, because every thing I've ever seen on TV, you know, like even things like paper or cups or like plastic cups get knocked one way. I just think, oh come on, why is it not going the other way, man? Because if they can open a fucking door, why can't they move a plastic cup back and forth? You know, unless you know what I mean. So yeah, that's cool.
If anyone was going to get possessed by a ghost or have a demon attached to them either, it would definitely be you, Ed.
Yeah.
100%. We could go somewhere like Pluckley with 100 people who are just begging and screaming to have a demon attached to them, and it would get Ed.
Yeah. It's just my luck. It always is. It always is my luck.
And it would be the clumsy ghost as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Well, have we got any more questions from fans, Aaron? I've my list is run out.
Well, some of them got answered as we went, like Mark from Chatham, he had a "Have you ever encountered a demonic presence?" I think we covered that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Oh, and Jay from Birmingham would like to know how accurate are ghost hunters in films like, say, Poltergeist and Insidious and things like that. Like, do you ever watch these sort of films? Because like a lot of them, like in Insidious particularly, they come in with a lot of these gadgets with the radio waves, and they do things with cameras and stuff. Is there ever like a film you've watched and you thought that's been done pretty well, or do you ever watch it and then think to yourself, "Fuck, look at these jokers"?
The Conjuring is good.
I was about to say The Conjuring.
For the age of the film and the time that it was set in, the stuff that he uses is quite accurate. The Conjuring is good. I can't really think of anything else. Everything else seems to be. The problem
Really predictable.
Yeah. The problem in movies is it's there for purely based entertainment. They tend to exaggerate everything.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're not going to go and see a film if they walk into a room and go, "Ah, it's not me." So,
I don't know. I've seen The Notebook. They get away with it.
I think it doesn't happen like the movies.
No, definitely not.
You could be stood in a room in the dark for an hour and nothing's happened, and then suddenly you'll walk out and maybe something might. We've been to many locations where we've gone, well, that's not going to be a video.
Yeah. How do you find these locations too? Like, is it through word of mouth? Is it your own research, or are they like famous places?
It's a bit of both, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Facebook has got a lot to do with how we found locations, with being on other abandoned sites or paranormal sites.
Like a lot of groups, I suppose, on social media.
Yeah, we've made quite a few
good friends
through the groups, especially with going forward with collabing once COVID's over.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so, but no,
I ask a question, guys. Sorry, I know I know we've run out of questions, but I've got one just spring up. Do you think that's where the skepticism comes from by a lot of people, because they see ghost movies and things like that, and it's so visually appealing? You can see it straight away. Bed sheets getting ripped off, or people being dragged around.
Very
the
dramatic,
floor.
isn't it?
Yeah, is that where people then look at things like you're showing, and like a door opening? To someone who loves films, would look at that and go, "It's only a fucking door opening." Do you know what I mean? Is that where it comes from? I don't. I was just wondering what you're thinking.
Yeah, people having large expectations of what it is.
Yeah, I think maybe. I know my mum, when she was years and years ago, and she was slept in my bed. I think I was in your bed with a friend having, like a sleepover as a child. And my mum had gone into my room and she was going to sleep, and she felt literally the duvet was pulled
off me.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's in our house, isn't it?
Yeah. I never slept in my own bedroom until I was about 16.
Exposing herself.
That house is a portal. I hate it. It's
every night around the same time you hear do 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 going up the stairs. I just say it's only my great granddad.
So what are you guys, where you looking to go moving forward, like, for the rest of this year? Have you got anything coming up that you can talk about, or you got any other plans, just for anyone listening who's going to tune in, what else they're going to see?
Yeah, we've got a few videos. I've got a video out on Monday from we went to Alton Towers. There's a tree there from it's really, really old. It was chained up by an old what was he, a lord, or was the Earl of?
Yeah, this is the knotted oak tree.
You seem to be a bit like muffled there. Yeah, so we went to the chained oak, it's called, and it's basically still got all the chains holding all the branches up so they don't fall. When the Earl of Shrewsbury was coming from, I think, Shrewsbury to Alton Towers to stay in his coach and horses, and there was an old beggar woman, and she asked for some money, and he shrugged her off, and she said, put a curse on the tree and said, every branch that falls, one of your family members will die.
Oh.
So it was not long after that a family member had died and one of the branches had fallen. So we ordered that all the oak tree was chained. So yeah, that's the one that's out on Monday.
Oh, nice. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
We've actually got some really good EVPs on it as well. I'm literally stood by myself, and you can hear a female voice talking into the camera. It's great. But I didn't actually realise it because we went in there, didn't we? And I didn't edit the video for about 2 weeks after, and I was like, wow, this is really good stuff. So
I didn't like it then.
No, you didn't like it at all, did you?
You must just get out. Yeah, I just wanted to go.
So,
No, that's cool. That's
we like the history side of it as well, like you're saying about the woman and like the curse and stuff. That's all a really great part of it, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, every week on Facebook we always do a history post, and we always put the background of, like an old.
It's just different locations, just to add a bit of history to the page instead of it all being about paranormal. So it doesn't necessarily have to have gone that location. But it's just like popular haunted or abandoned locations. We'll do history on it, and they've been really good on the Facebook sites. I've had quite a few likes and comments off them.
Well, you'll definitely have to come down to Pluckley at some point. The most haunted village in all of England.
Definitely
Wow.
would.
Yeah, they've got a big old pub there as well, and the people who all work there they all know the history as well. So when people come in there and ask, they're happy to talk about all of it and what have you.
Oh wow,
that's good.
But then you've got like another load of other houses there. Like one of them, like in the hotel, like people like have seen like ghosts walking along the ceiling in a certain corridor.
wow.
You've got the Screaming Woods, which is where like I think like women kept getting murdered or something. And one night, like a woman went out there who was meant to be getting married, but it was forbidden. So they went to go meet in the woods to get married under the secret of darkness, and she turned up, and then someone else turned up that wasn't the husband and killed her. It was just loads of
there's
really crazy stuff like that.
Because Pluckley's only like half an hour away from where we are. I mean, I know it quite well. There's a pub called the Black Horse.
That's right.
That is the pub that everyone knows all the information about it, and it's really cool because inside the pub they used to hang people inside the pub as like a like public display thing, like weird. And on the floor, you can see literally the stool where it's been kicked away, and you got scratch marks still on the floor that they've protected with like plastic. And it's like
Scaradin,
the Scaradin in Wales is like that. The old
is it?
In Wales, yeah.
It's an old court. Was it an old courthouse?
Courthouse and hanging house.
Has it still got the noose there?
Yeah, I've got the noose hanger from the ceiling downstairs.
Just the amount of history attached to just that rope, it's like, let alone the rest of it. I mean, most pubs do like darts night on a Tuesday, innit? Let's go to the hanging.
Yeah, so that's one of our hopefully to-do list for this year is the Scaradin. It's like a little hotel as well, so we're hoping to stay there the night. So when the doors close, you have the whole place to yourself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Got a few, haven't we, to-do lists?
Yeah.
Got so many to do.
Yeah. Like tonight, today we're going off to...
Where are you going?
Big convent.
Yes, we're going to a convent tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So after the podcast, we are driving 3 hours to a convent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What else are you going to do on a Sunday?
Easter Sunday, that's it. Yeah. Fuck you. Good stuff. Well, I mean, I'm all out of questions, mate. Unless you got anything.
No, I think on that note, you've got a long drive ahead of you, so we'll let you crack on. But was there any other like particular paranormal groups that you're friends with who you'd like to give a shout out here while you've got the platform?
I need to give Exploring with Tim a shout out.
Yeah.
He's just brilliant. He just constantly liking, subscribe. He's lovely. It's lovely.
Right, everybody Google Tim. We'll find him.
Yeah, exploring
with Tim.
Oh, exploring with Tim.
Fuck's sake.
I think he's our number one shout out, isn't he?
Yeah.
What we've done, exploring with Tim.
Of any others really, but you know what?
Back in time, it gives us quite good as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
We've got quite good friends with Back in Time.
Yeah.
They're both Airbex though. We're not really that close to paranormal ones, are we? It's more Airbex.
Don't want to know.
Don't want to know.
I know it's mad. It's like with the paranormal, it's like, oh, we've got to be there first. I'm like, well, why? They're not, they're not going anywhere. There's ghosts there. They're not going anywhere, are they?
Yeah, that's it.
It's not a race who gets to these places first.
It's crazy. It just wrecks my head sometimes.
Yeah. But definitely exploring with Tim.
Excellent. Exploring with Tim. They can find him on YouTube.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, we'll get a link and we'll chuck a link up as well. Yeah, like Aaron said, thanks again, guys. Thanks for your time as well.
Oh no, thank you for having us on, lads.
Yeah, well, open invitation. We'll happily have you back again in the future. It's been a great day today.
I'm going to get you to the Screaming Woods.
Yes.
Obviously, you can travel safely down to London.
In the dark. That'd be excellent, guys.
In the dark.
Nice one, guys. Well, stay safe. Look after yourself.
You too.
See you later,
Have a good
guys.
one.
Bye.